recently I started making my own soil because I moved to Georgia and there was all this red clay, and so I said, I'm gonna make topsoil. So being able to do things locally is really important. Supporting the local farmers who are growing the food is also really important. And long term, we're going to have more gardens. We're going to have soil to grow in. Compost holds 60% moisture. There's things about the microbial structure of compost that help keep plants healthy. It helps them resist drought and diseases. And we can't be, pumping fertilizer and chemicals and pesticides and stuff onto our soils and then be drinking the same water for very long. We're doing it, but it's catching up. There's a lot of materials out there that are called organic, but a lot of those products that are out there now have sludges in them mixed with the biosolids, which is sewer sludge. It's everything that anybody flushes down a drain that goes to the wastewater treatment plant. That's what's in that compost. Things like pharmaceuticals and chemicals. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they don't really know what's going on with that stuff. Your tomatoes might have Viagra in them. You don't know. That's not something that you really want to have in your soil. The heavy metals that are in biosolid compost make it so that it is not certified for organic gardens.
There's been a lot of activity in terms of people that are interested, restaurants and chefs that are interested. So the demand is continually growing, I think, to tell you the truth. I think a lot of people, put food in high priority if they want to buy from a local source, and it's going to be more expensive because it takes a lot of labor to produce this food and a lot more money than it does in commercialized industrial ag. It's way healthier for you. There's no chemicals sprayed on them. They're not, it wasn't picked. It didn't diminish in quality because it's been sitting on a truck for a week or two coming from California. So I'd say that's first and foremost. It's a healthier product. Secondly, I don't know. I'd say that you have more options. You have different varieties that a lot of the commercialized ag can't grow.
Our local farmers are an easy way to ensure environmental stability and stewardship and green space and economic growth, progress for your own surroundings. Then there's an overall community-based theory. There's an overall environmental theory, and then there's really the health and nutrition aspect too. So those are kind of the three worlds, I think, of why it's a conversation that's important. The rising cost of food is really linked to commodities, and commodities are really about things that are not actually farmed necessarily for consumption, and about high volume industrial crops. So our menu is dependent on small-scale local farmers, and they are insulated from those fluctuations. Their lives are a lot harder because they're constantly having to make enough money to overcome their labor charges, which is more than what it costs to run a mechanized farm. But you are not susceptible to as much to the commodity markets because you're not in them. So. Important thing is to become curious about where your food comes from and understand that there are physical and health and nutritional ramifications to your food being further away and more heavily processed, and those ramifications are not just experienced by you in the moment that you eat Kraft macaroni and cheese, but in the long-term effects of your choices in your diet and the choices of those around you and the choices in how you steward your environment in terms of the rate of public health care and pollution cleanup and superfunds and budgets of our governments that are working to disable the destruction that has happened from industrial agriculture across many sectors. And that is the real cost of our food, is the cost when you add in the cost of what I pay to treat diabetes for 20% of America.
Obesity.
So, exactly.